Coach, how would you, I don't know, compare and contrast this time last year compared to now from your point of view?
Way less chaotic, and the main reason is, one, just the continuity that we were able to keep from a staff standpoint, but also from just player standpoint. That's what you take for granted probably when you step into a situation like last year. You're having to coach and teach everybody on the field. Nobody knows what you're doing or what you're trying to do. But now, every coach knows what we're doing. And now you've got those older guys that, even a guy like Caton, who's not going through it right now, but he's another coach. He's an extension of the coaching staff, to where, we got some new guys that are here this semester that he's able to, like, if they got a question, they don't have to come find one of us. He can come find Caton or Anthony or one of these older guys that have been in it. And so that takes a lot of stress off of me, takes a lot of stress off the coaching staff, to where last year, it felt like I couldn't get enough answers out there fast enough for all the questions. And so that's the biggest difference, just a lot less chaotic, just because of just the familiarity from the top down, staff-wise and players.
With Caton out, how is Jake kind of taking this opportunity of getting extra reps?
Yeah, I mean, Jake loves it, because even though if you're not the guy, your desire to be the guy doesn't go away. And so, he loves it. And Jake, even when we made the switch last year, and you guys know this, like, Jake never changed. Jake was still a leader on the team. He was a great teammate, and he's the same guy still. He leads every day. With Caton not being out there, it allows you to lean on Jake and use Jake, because he's the one taking the reps and going through it. So he's done a great job. He's steady Eddie, like he always is, as far as personality and things of that nature. So it's been good. I'm happy for him to get the opportunity this spring, for sure.
The rest of that room, get a couple freshmen in. It seems like Raheem's taking a step too. Would you kind of agree with that?
No doubt. I couldn't be more proud of Raheem. And, and the only reason that he's there is because he put the work in, just like they all did. And he's worked his tail off to get to where he's at. And he'll get an opportunity as the spring goes on to get reps with that ones, because he's earned it. And, the more depth we can have, the more people we can have, not only in that room, but every room that we feel comfortable putting in the football game. That's what's best for us.
Do you think anybody stood out today that surprised you, or?
It's hard. The hardest thing when you're not live tackling and in full pads is just kind of what Josh was talking about. Was that a tackle or was it not? And so there's some things that you get to see today, and really in that running back room, when those guys get in one-on-one situations, are they breaking tackles? Are they not? And you got to see guys like London, Parker Jenkins, that got in some one-on-one situations and won those matchups, and we need to win more of them. But those were some just guys, just because of the practice today of tackling. You get to see who's really winning in those one-on-one situations.
When you walk in the running back room, it's weird not to see Rajay Harris, but if you keep looking, you'll find London Montgomery and Marlon Gunn. How are those guys looking this spring, and how excited are you for them to take that next step forward?
No, they're excited because they got to sit and watch a guy that worked his tail off and got to reap the rewards of it. And they saw Rajay get better as the year went on, because Rajay was not the same running back that he was, Norfolk State to NC State. He wasn't the same guy, and that's because he stayed with it and trusted the process. And so those guys, that's the thing I like the most, is they got to sit and watch that, not necessarily the production, but just how he worked and how he prepared. And so they're excited, and that started for them in January. They've worked their tails off in the weight room to prepare to be that guy and to carry the load. And Rajay's load that he took last year is probably more than really what we want from a running back. We'd like to spread it out more. One, it keeps those guys fresh and allows us to use more people.
The transfer receivers y'all brought in, they seem to be making some plays early in spring. Would you agree with that? And how is that group coming along?
I would agree.
Yeah.
Darrell Roberts is the man for a reason. So, no, it's what we want in every room. It's competitive depth. And I thought we had it last year to an extent. I feel the exact same way, even if not more so this year, in every room. Running backs, receivers, tight ends, O-line. We just are a deeper unit this year than we were last year, to where they're really from the front out wide, like there is not a big drop off, and that's what we want. So that's why those guys were huge. The thing I like about them the most, about those receivers that we added, they're older guys. They're not young transfers. They're guys that have been in big-time programs, that have played football, and they know how to carry themselves. You're not having to teach them how to practice. You're not having to teach them how to, pay attention in a meeting. They know. And so that's the thing that I've enjoyed the most, but also, obviously, when they make plays on the field, that's why they're here.
Let's go to the trenches right quick. How's the offensive line gelling so far this spring?
It's great, and that's where you've got a good mix of guys that have been here, new guys. You've got guys that were in the program last year that may not have played a ton, but you've got guys that have been here that have a chance to go step into some of those roles. And again, just like that receiver room, you talk about, you got a 2 deep where there is a lot of interchangeable parts as far as competition goes. And it's been nice because it keeps those older guys, and I say older guys, but like keeps McCrimmon, Kojo, keeps those guys on their toes, knowing that they've got young guys, they've got new guys that came here to play, and that's what we never want to do. We don't want to just bring bodies in. We want to bring people in that add value and can play right now, and so I feel great about it. We were really, really fortunate last year. We played with about the same 5 guys almost the entire season. That is, knock on wood, that's a rarity. And so we've got to make sure we've got depth up front. And, 4 practices into it, I feel really good about it. And they've got to continue to get better and better, though.
What's your number 1 priority coming in the spring ball?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, that's a good question. It's an easy question. Last year we led the country in interceptions. And so that's got to get fixed. And, it's something that we studied a lot, just as far as, why. Was it decision making? Was it play calls? Was it this? And just everybody, owning up to it and finding accountability in that. And the most frustrating thing is it was a mixture, but at the same time, you don't realize those turnovers, where they happen in the field, took points off the board. And that's the one thing that you can't do is, I can't even tell you how many points cost us just from those turnovers. And so that for us is a huge emphasis, is just taking care of the football, because we've shown and proven that we can be explosive. We have explosive players, but if we'll protect the ball, we can be really good on offense.
Coach, your name was out there for other jobs, maybe your reports at least. Just what was it about ECU that made you want to commit here for another year and beyond?
The biggest thing for me is it's rare. It's so rare in our profession and what we do that you get to do exactly what you want to do with the people you want to do it with. And I have that here. I love working for Blake Harrell, first and foremost. I love working at East Carolina, but I love my staff. And I love the guys that are around me, and a lot of them are guys that I've known for a long time. I've spent every day with Hunter McKay for the last 3 or 4 years, from Ole Miss to here. I've known Matt Maddox since 2014. I've known Ronnie Freeman since 2009 at Abilene Christian, and met Dyrell Roberts about a year and a half ago, and now I would consider him my brother. He's family forever, and so. Like I said, you just don't get to do what you want to do and have the freedom that we have on offense that Blake allows us to do, but get to do it with the people. I love coming to work every day because of the people I'm around. And so that's a rarity. I've been fortunate to have that other times in my career in different roles, but that's special. And you don't leave that or walk away for that for nothing. And I cherish that. I love it here. My family loves it here, so this place is special. And the other thing is, I knew with the pieces we have coming back, I know how good we can be. Now, we got a long way to go, and we got to work our tail to get there, but all that combined, like, this is a special place. And I knew that when I came here, and obviously the last year and a half has just confirmed that.